recording.
Hello and welcome back to the Pacific Perspectives podcast. I'm Nux Memes, that is Kyler Mimamoto, and we have Rory again. The trade deadline is under 24 hours away, and all of our teams might have some stuff to do, though Edmonton maybe has done a lot of their work already. Xavier has a big water bottle that barely has any water in it, which is awesome. Who wants to take it away? Okay, the Canucks are in a spot where we gotta sell, and we're running out of time here. I think they have 3 more moves that they have to do. Got to get rid of Kane, got to get rid of Bluegard, and got to get rid of Garland. But I've talked about this a lot of times, so I'd rather save this for the middle of the episode. Let's talk about how about Connor Murphy? Let's start with Connor Murphy. How do you feel about that?
I love a Connor Murphy, and you know what? This is exactly what Edmonton needed, because for some reason, Kulak fell off a cliff. Before this year, Edmonton has really had good defensive numbers. That's something that I think a lot of people don't really comprehend, and why this year is just a little weird from the Oilers. They have been genuinely top 10 in like every defensive stat for basically the last 3 years before this one. And still, obviously, there's more to be desired in their goals against department, and that's why everyone is screaming for a goalie now. This year, Darnell Nurse falls off a cliff more than he already had. I think before this year, Darnell Nurse was like a pretty solid number 3 defenseman. Now he's basically unserviceable in the NHL. Like he should be on the bottom pair, and even then, I'm worried when he's out there. And Brett Kulak, that's one that was even more disturbing, a little more unsettling, because he's been so good, and he's replaced exactly what we've wanted from Nurse in the playoffs. Like, he is one of the main reasons why we were able to go so far, is because Kulak gives us insane depth defensively. He can play both sides of the puck, just a very solid defender, and he costs like no money. And then he comes out this year and he sucks. I think he had like 2 assists in the like 40 games before he was traded to Pittsburgh. Didn't really fit well in Pittsburgh. Now he's on Colorado. Good asset management by Pittsburgh, but I mean, in that trade, Kulak, he had been truly terrible. He had been truly terrible all year long, and the Oilers at that point, they had completely lost the depth they had on the blue line. They've completely lost it. They got Stastny, and Emerson's kind of grown a little bit, and that's helped maybe a little bit. But again, those are just bottom pair number 6 defensemen. They're not going to move the needle that much. Adding Connor Murphy now is exactly what the team needs, because Jake Wallman just straight up sucks on his offside playing on the right with Darnell Nurse. That pair is a nightmare. I'm never going to see it again. Thank God. It's disgusting. I think you open up so many more options on the blue line when now you have an actually good defensive player again. Because in the past they've had it. But right now, beyond Ekholm, they have no good defensive players on that blue line. As good as Evan Bouchard has been this year, he's not good defensively. No one's ever going to say that. So Murphy is awesome for this. I haven't seen him play yet this season, but he has amazing defensive stats, and that's exactly what we needed.
Yeah. Also, Chicago's penalty kill is ranked first in
somehow.
The league. And a couple days before, Rory and I were talking about it. Now it kind of makes sense. Like, we were just hanging out talking about it, because that's what we do. We talk about the Chicago Blackhawks penalty kill. But
as you do,
like Connor Murphy, Alex Vlasic, though, that's a very good first PK unit on defense. They have other pieces too, but Connor Murphy is a good stay-at-home guy. He's going to be a responsible guy for the Oilers, take some more defensive pressure off of a lot of the other players. So I liked that move, and I thought that a second rounder with Murphy 50% retained was pretty much exactly fair value.
Yeah, I agree. Murphy's probably my favorite of the 3 Oilers editions from the Blackhawks, and I guess we'll talk about the other 2 in a sec. But I think he's just like Xavier was kind of saying, like, he's a good defensive defenseman. Like, he's good physically. He's an old school kind of style. Like, he'll stop you off the rush. He'll clear the crease. Like all the like old man hockey mantras that people kind of talk about. He does them, and he does them well, and he still puts up good actual macro numbers defensively. So I think it's a good deal, and they didn't give up like a ton to get him.
That's Minnesota's acquiring Jeff Petrie.
Whoa, he's still playing? He's still playing?
He's on Florida.
That's funny. I wonder why they.
That's
sorry.
That's the trade. That's the trade to drop while we're recording.
Yeah, Jeff Petrie trade. Why not? That's remember your point. We're gonna come back to that. I just want to real
Yeah.
quick. Jeff Petrie to the Wild is kind of weird because I feel like they kind of already had their defense figured out, but I don't know. I guess can replace Bogosian back there.
Yeah,
I don't
it's
know if
good.
he's better.
Someone gets hurt. He's a right shot, like veteran defenseman. I don't think he's very good anymore. I know
No.
he's not very good anymore, but he
Oh
has
yeah, he was on
experience.
Florida.
Yeah, yeah, he's a guy that Bill Guerin wants. And like looking at this, it's a conditional 2026 seventh that upgrades to a fifth if Minnesota wins 2 playoff rounds and Petrie plays 50% of the games. I think if you make the conference final and Jeff Petrie is like a part of that team, I don't think you're going to complain too much giving up a fifth. So I think in general, I get it. I get it. Oh,
He's
hold
scoring a
on.
Game 7 goal.
Hey, we traded Jet Woo! What the fuck? We
What's
didn't even give him a
happening?
game.
That Woo to Vancouver for Jack
What the
Thompson.
fuck?
Jack Thompson was on Tampa, World Junior legend. Wow.
Sure.
Busy 3:30 p.m. news drop.
Called up Cole Clayton instead of Jet Woo, and then sent Jet Woo to San Jose.
Breaking news. Breaking news.
We got two of the worst trades ever. Like we were talking, like, oh, like it would be cool if we got like a live trade drop, and then two of them happened back to back, and it's Jeff Petrie for a seventh and Jet Woo for Jack Thompson.
Just two trades that mean absolutely nothing in the long run.
Yeah, no one will remember these trades. I'm kind of surprised these are happening today. Like these feel like 3 p.m. Friday type trades.
Yeah.
Like right then and there. Like they happen at the deadline and nobody even like
They don't
considers
even
it
get
other than
reported
fans of the
on.
two teams. Yeah,
That's
exactly.
just sad. I really wanted Jet Woo to get an NHL game with Vancouver this year because like we drafted him the same draft as Quinn Hughes. He was supposed to be that was supposed to be the Canucks defensive pair of the future. Hughes Woo. And then Hughes got traded this year, and now Woo's also been traded. It is kind of funny that Jet Woo outlasted Quinn Hughes on the Canucks.
It's actually
He
funny.
was a big piece of the Abbotsford Cup run last year. I mean, at least he had that with the Canucks. It is. I do feel pretty sad because if he were ever to get a game in Vancouver, this was definitely the year, but not like the biggest deal. Jack Thompson, I don't mind. Like he's not good or anything. Also, it, we keep taking these former San Jose defensemen who are like not good. Like we also have Jimmy Schelt in Abbotsford and also Nikolai Knizhov. Like what's happening here? Why we're just stacking up on these random ass former Shark defensemen?
What's he building in there? One
The,
thing,
Ed-
like Jet
the
Woo, is one of those
Edmonton
guys
Oilers and
he's
Montreal
really good.
Canadiens are linked to forward AJ Greer per
Oh, I
Pierre
saw
LeBrun.
that. Yeah, I know. I think the actual quote was like he wouldn't be surprised if those two teams had
Oh,
interest. Because
that's
like,
so stupid. I
yeah,
wouldn't
I
be
don't think.
surprised. That's not
Yeah,
reporting.
I don't. I'm not. That's just speculation at that point. I do want to say like Jet Woo used to have really good potential in like NHL games back in the day, and like I don't know. That's about it. His brother Jonas Woo is an overager eligible for this upcoming draft. Plays for Medicine Hat. He's had an unbelievable season. Also defenseman, 26 goals, 52 assists in 50 games. Just wanted to
Well,
shout out Jonas
Damn.
Woo.
Medicine Hat is kind of just crazy. I wonder how much
Yeah,
of every player's stats are inflated. Imagine if they sold McKenna too.
yeah.
Yeah, but like
But
the Ruck twins
yeah,
are
Kane
killing it.
Lindstrom was a Medicine Hat Tiger too. I know he's had a tough year in the NCAA, but like that team could have gone to back-to-back Memorial Cups. They still might go to back-to-back Memorial Cups. They're that stacked.
Okay,
Anyway,
with two trades just randomly happened there. Let's go back to
What were you
what
talking
you were
about,
talking
Rory?
about with
it's
we
Connor
were
Murphy.
talking
It was
about
Connor
Murphy.
Murphy. I was kind of just saying that he like I was echoing Xavier's point that he fits what the Oilers need, and he's a good kind of hockey man, playoff style, old school defenseman, but also actually has good defensive metrics. You mentioned the Blackhawks penalty kill; he's a good part of that. Jason Dickinson, also a good part of that. We can move to that because I don't think there's that much more to say about Connor Murphy other than
One
he's a
more thing on
good depth
Murphy,
defenseman.
and I'll move into Dickinson, like he said. I honestly don't think that the Oilers have ever had this style of defenseman on their roster since. I mean, even Adam Larson, he had a lot of puck moving kind of style in his game. That's not really, he wasn't good at it, but that was in his game. Murphy, he's not even a guy to really attempt that. They've basically never had a true just stay-at-home defenseman, besides maybe Chris Russell, I'd say. Chris Russell. And again, Chris Russell wasn't very good, especially in the latter days of his Oilers career. So this is seriously the first time since maybe Andre Sekera where I've seen on my roster an effective defensive defenseman. So that'll be interesting. I really think that it will have a greater impact than he possibly could have on any other team. I think I'll say that. And for Jason Dickinson, the defensive issues of this team, oh my goodness. The last 2 weeks coming out of the Olympic break were some of seriously the worst defensive hockey I've ever seen. And a lot of by the Oilers. A lot of people were blaming the goaltending, and I will be the very first one to tell you that Tristan Jarry has not been good. Connor Ingram even hasn't been that great. But at the same time, the same thing is happening that happened to Stuart Skinner, where Stuart Skinner wasn't that skilled of a goalie in the first place. However, having the type of giveaways and lack of defensive commitment they've had this season, whether it's due to a lot of the players and a lot of the media has talked about fatigue from going, like if you just think the distance that the Oilers have gone over the last 4 years, it's more than any team in the league besides the Panthers. And the Panthers are absolutely fatigued as well. They have the cup to show for it, though. Two of them. Whether it's fatigue or just genuine breaking down of defensive play, they have been so horrible. I honestly believe all season the goaltending has not seriously affected that goals against. I think that goals against their fifth last in the league. I think that perfectly represents exactly how bad they've played defensively. A bottom five team in the league, which is crazy because I think last year they were top five, and the year before that they were top 10. Like they've played really good defensive hockey, and again, the blue line is good. I think you don't need to touch the blue line. It's fine. Darnell Nurse has fallen off considerably from where he already was, and that hurts a lot. But still, you don't touch the blue line. It's fine. But the forwards also are just straight up bad defensively. Draisaitl has been elite defensively in the past. He has his great defensive moments, but I think a lot of people confuse that with genuinely good defensive presence consistently, like a Selke level player like Barkov has. Draisaitl doesn't have that. His defensive metrics are pretty bad. Pretty bad. McDavid's constantly having giveaways with the puck because he has to compensate for the lack of offense the rest of the team is having. That needs to stop, obviously. I think Jason Dickinson, as much as Murphy, is also a completely just perfect fit for this team. And we can get into the acquisition cost, which is high, but they don't have a defensive forward. They really haven't had a defensive forward since Derek Ryan came to the team like 4 or 5 years ago. And his defensive presence really fell off towards the tail end. Again, since then, they've had nothing.
I have an issue with this. Jason Dickinson sucks at the sport.
He's a Jason Dickinson hater, as
I
might
can
be known.
respect it.
I don't think Jason Dickinson's a great player, but I think he fits that kind of role that the Oilers need out of him. He is a good, defensive bottom six center. I don't although I will say the things that you're talking about with David having to overcompensate and not, giving the puck away, leading to chances against because the rest of the team sucks at offense. Draisaitl, not being a consistent defensive presence. I don't think Jason Dickinson fixes that. I think Jason Dickinson is just like a better Adam Henrique, or what Adam Henrique was when you traded for him 2 years ago, type of thing. I don't like. I think he makes the team better, and I think he'll help, especially when it comes to the playoffs, and like you're gonna need a guy that can help you with the big penalty killer or something. But I don't know if Jason Dickinson fixes those issues, and I also don't think Colton Dock fixes those issues. I think Colton Dock is just Max Jones again.
I think Colton Dock is like, I think he makes Trent Frederick entirely useless.
Yeah,
Like
that is.
Frederick was
It's
already
already
useless, but it
useless.
feels like Colton Dock is just brought in so that you can healthy scratch Trent Frederick, and then you have a cheaper, younger Trent Frederick who will probably score more because it's really difficult to score less than Trent Frederick has been scoring this year. I like Colton Dock actually. I think I like his physicality. I think he's not really anything
I'm
that
gonna
special, but I think he would be good in the playoffs on the fourth line for like 10 minutes a game.
I guess. I mean, I'm gonna disagree with a majority of the Oilers fans that seem to think that Colton Donk is going to develop into this like good top nine player that like complements the middle six, maybe even McDavid in the top six. No, he. I, listen. Once you see him in the first game, he brings unique energy, and I think there is something to be said beyond the simple numbers, which are not good for Colton Dock. I think there is something to be said beyond the numbers that he hits a lot. He brings like physical presence, and he is good defensively. He like don't give him the puck, but he is good defensively. Is what we've seen. Um, but he has no real puck moving skill potential inside an NHL top nine. I think even on the Blackhawks, he hasn't been given that opportunity. He hasn't been given that opportunity for a reason. He's just
It was
he's just
star
not
at one
that guy.
point. Didn't
Yeah.
go well.
Yeah, exactly. It didn't go well. Apparently they're great friends. I didn't know that, but yeah, guys, they're he has no real potential in an NHL top 9. He would be a cool, interesting, hard-hitting like the best case scenario for this guy is he is a 30-point player at the absolute best case scenario. Besides that, I'd be astounded if he even hits that. So really, I don't see Colton Dach as a crucial part of this trade. I think that's probably to even out the value because the Hawks probably said something along the lines of nobody's getting Jason Dickinson unless there's a first. And I think now that we've seen the return for other types of players around Jason Dickinson's caliber, like Nick Waugh and Nick Dowd, that makes a lot more sense now. I think if this trade came out after those two came out, it would be like, okay. But a lot of people have just kind of they haven't been able to rationalize it really. A lot of Oilers fans I've seen they just instinctively are like, this sucks. This is horrible. Bowman needs to go. I hate everything about this team. I hate everything. Like they just instantly gravitate towards that. But I think Dickinson plays a perfect role. I think he has more offense to give than he's seen on the Hawks because he has to play that defensive role so hard. I think it won't be as serious and the competition won't be as ridiculous as it has been on the Hawks. So that'll free him up to probably be more of a 20-25 point like effective bottom six center again. Um, but still, you bring him in for his defensive presence, and that's exactly what the Oilers need.
Yeah.
Have the Habs done anything?
No, I I mean what the Habs did was trade for Noah Dobson in the summer and trade for Phil Deneau in December. And from the past that, I don't. There's always rumors of stuff happening, like oh, they might be in on Robert Thomas because they need a second line center, and that makes sense. They everyone gets linked to a couple bottom six forwards or like physical forwards at the deadline. I think in an ideal world, they probably grab a depth right shot defenseman just to have because right now the only right shot defenseman you have at all are Noah Dobson and Alex Carrier. One of them gets hurt, and it's either hope that David Reinbacher's ready for NHL minutes on a playoff team, which I don't think you want to do, even if he is. It's probably not good to rush him, or play, Mike Matheson, Caden Gooley, Lane Hudson, play two of those guys on their offside, and I don't think that. I think just trade for like Trevor Van Riemsdyk, and it's okay. That's what I
I
would do.
think the Habs could have used a Jeff Petrie. They low key fumbled by not trading for Jeff Petrie because he's so good. He's
Maybe.
exactly what they need right now.
I don't think Jeff Petrie ever wants to play on Montreal again. Um, I
No,
don't think things really ended badly. I think it was just one of those like he was ready to go, and then yeah, I don't know if you remember when he went to Pittsburgh in that Matheson trade with Ryan Paling, and then in the Eric Carlson to Pittsburgh trade, part of Montreal was the third team in that. Petrie went back to Montreal for that like summer, never like even showed up to camp because then they flipped him to Detroit, and that's how he got to Detroit. So this would have been Petrie's third stint on Montreal. Just fun fact.
Interesting.
also, I gotta say right now, while I'm remembering, the Canucks also have Cole Clayton, and they called him up today, and that's another former Sharks defenseman that they just randomly have. Anyway, continue on.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think Montreal's in the market to do anything big unless they swing a Binnington trade or something. I don't think they are seriously in enough on Robert Thomas to give up the Hage plus Reinbacher plus another prospect plus the first round pick
I'd do
plus
it.
kind of trade. I think I would do it. I would definitely consider doing it, but I don't think they want to do that. Um, and everything else, I don't know. Like, there's like a non-zero chance I trade for a goalie, but I also just got two two or three notifications on my phone saying that Samuel Montembeault is starting Friday night, and I assume that he would have been the goalie that gets, dealt out in like a,
Things
goalie
can
for goalie.
change.
Well, things can always change, but I don't think you would confirm your starter like a day in advance if you weren't going to if you were going to make a move there. So
Fair.
I'm not expecting much. I hope for a depth right shot D for cheap. Like if you get TVR, again, TVR is kind of the guy I have in my mind as like seventh defenseman that is okay. You can maybe like a third or a fourth for him. I don't really know what his value would be. It can't be that high. Um, and the Caps of base, like it's pretty likely he gets dealt. So that that's what could be in there for me. I wouldn't have minded Connor Murphy on Montreal too. I don't know if I would have paid a second for him in Montreal's point of view. I would have in Edmonton's, but different teams at different stages. Um, yeah, I don't know. I don't think it's going to be the busiest deadline, which I don't mind. I think the Deneau thing is more of what they needed, even if he hasn't really fixed the penalty kill yet.
I think Zach Whitecloud could have been an option for Montreal, but it seems like Calgary wants to keep him because they have absolutely nobody else. I
Yeah,
wouldn't have hated that fit though.
no, I don't think it would have been the worst. I just think it might have been a little bit too expensive. I don't think they want to pay a bunch for a depth defenseman. Like I wouldn't pay more than a third. I just want someone who can be there for insurance.
For Vancouver, I'll get into my things now because my team has the most left to do out of any of our three. We've done the Tyler Myers trade, which is nice. I'm glad that he's going to a team he wants to go to. Second and a fourth is good value for him. We've now traded Jet Wu for Jack Thompson. Because why not? I guess. I mean, Jack Thompson probably slots into our lineup like immediately, which is really funny. I think he might. He probably makes the lineup over Victor Mancini. So at least we got something going there. I mean, we honestly probably win that trade. It's just such a minuscule trade that it doesn't even really matter. But yeah, so we have Kane, Bluger, and David Camp. Those are our three pending UFAs. If only Derek Forbert weren't dead, we could have traded him too, but he's dead. So I honestly would not trade David Camp unless you think you can't trade anybody else. Like my ideal deadline is trade Kane, Bluger, and Garland, and that's it for now. I would be happy to re-sign David Camp, honestly, because like who the fuck is going to be penalty killing next year when we get rid of Bluger and Garland? We got no one. I don't hate the idea of keeping him. I know Drew O'Connor has been in trade talks, but I like Drew O'Connor, and I mean he's still like 26 or 27. I don't think we need to trade him. No, no.
Wow,
Stop the episode. He can't handle 6'7". Is he coming back?
probably. It's gonna say something too. I just saw a
Oh,
report.
welcome back.
Are we gonna behave now?
Yeah, we're gonna behave.
The thing with Drew O'Connor is that I don't think his value will ever be higher than it is right now because he's putting together a really good season, and he's a penalty killer too, and he's big, and he's fast. He has like all the tools, and he's finally putting it together this season. So I don't think we'll ever be able to get more out of Drew O'Connor, and that's kind of like if Nick Waugh can get a first, surely you can get a first out of Drew O'Connor. He still has another year
I
left.
don't know
Like,
if you can get a first out of Drew O'Connor. I don't
how could
know.
you get a first out of Nick Waugh?
I mean, to be fair, I think Drew O'Connor is better than Nick Waugh.
Yeah, that's what I'm
I,
saying.
I just I
Like,
don't know
if
if he has the reputation.
maybe not, but he should. He's
He
been
should.
far better than Nick Waugh this year. Like, very, very far better. He does a whole lot. So, like, if Nick Waugh's value is a first, it was a fifth, right? A first and a fifth.
Yep.
First and conditional fifth, which it'll be like the last pick of the fifth round or like close to it because it'll be Colorado's fifth.
Yeah, if that's the market, then Drew O'Connor. I don't think he'd get a first, but if he did, then trade him.
The
if you can get a
defensive
first
centers are
or
just
pair.
they're flying off the shelves. I mean, it's insane.
Hey, Drew O'Connor played
could probably get
3C
something.
for like 5 games there. That was pretty funny. He has it in him, sort of. They was like his worst games of the season.
You could advertise him
But
as a
yeah,
center.
anyway, I don't I don't know if we'll see a big move from the Canucks like Pedersen or Besser. That would be pretty crazy. I was thinking last night, like, what's a bombshell that could happen for any team between now and the trade deadline? And I was thinking, like, well, I mean, Pedersen could happen. You know, we got some crazy stuff last year. We haven't really gotten anything mind-boggling this year, other than, well, like, we got some stuff earlier, obviously, that was mind-boggling. Not at the trade deadline, though, yet. Nothing at the trade deadline's been that crazy. So we'll see. I'm hoping Garland, Bluger, Kane all gone. Apparently, it's going to be hard to move them, and some people think that the Canucks might only be able to move one of them, which would be a travesty. But look at Nashville right now. Like they made 3 trades in 2 days. Like it's possible. You can
They're
get those
still
trades
blowing it up.
done.
They're still blowing it
Which
up.
also they cooked so hard by getting a second for Michael McCarron,
Yeah,
and then
That was
somehow only got a
ridiculous.
center
fifth for
market.
Nick Blankenberg. Like what happened?
Yeah,
What everyone's value is so fucked right now.
everyone wants those playoff style guys. Here's a quick one on the Canucks. This is from just a report from like 5 minutes ago from Josh Yeo of the Athletic, an article he wrote. The Penguins are considering a deal that would bring Teddy Bluger back to the team.
That'd be
The
cool.
team source confirmed the desire to add a forward and a defenseman, but the majority of Dubas's focus right now is on adding a center.
I mean, I think he'd be a really good fit for them. He's a veteran forward. I wouldn't mind that. He's very good,
Yeah,
and
the
obviously
the
knows the
Penguins
team.
need some face-off wins, so
Defensive
he,
center.
he would help with that.
First
Well,
round
he's
pick.
actually not that good of a face-off guy.
Yeah, but they're 30% in the face-off dot ever since Crosby, or without Crosby
Oh
since
my
the Olympics.
gosh.
Well, he's definitely better than
He's
30%.
definitely better than that.
Yeah.
He's not elite, but he at least can win like half
Hey,
of
if
them.
they want, wait, if they want face-off wins and they want a center, they should get David Camp.
True. Could have had him for free at some point, but whatever.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Well, that is
I
true,
just
but he
wanted to
chose
bring that
Vancouver
up.
because Vancouver is such a desirable destination where you must sign.
You know what though? There's not serious heat, but there's just constantly been discussions for like the last, I think, calendar year about Pedersen to Carolina. I think if you're the Canucks, the fact that he has just fallen off so hard and it seems to be sticking. This doesn't seem to be a temporary thing where he's a 60-point center. This seems to be what he is now. This is just what he is. That stat where he went like 60 minutes of game time in between shots, that is ridiculous. And you're paying him 11 and a half. For the Canucks, you do not have to worry about that cap hit. Like it doesn't matter. It helps you hit the floor actually. And he is one of your only players that is like a superstar. I don't know if he qualifies as that anymore after this fall off. But if Carolina is like actually offering something, you pull the trigger, don't you? Like if they're offering a first and a prospect and a player, you pull that trigger. Nobody's
What
paying
would
for that
be
contract
the
anymore.
I'd say what would be the like lowest thing you would accept for Pedersen, assuming the trade is Kotkaniemi plus like a pick plus a prospect. Like what
Let's
would
not
be
start with
the?
Kotkaniemi.
I feel like he has to be part of the
He
deal,
has to
just
be.
cap wise.
Um, I I just think there's no way the Canucks get the true value back for Pedersen. But I mean, I
What
think
is his
trading
true value?
Pedersen is more of. Can I talk?
No.
Is it okay if I talk right now? Am I allowed to talk?
Sorry.
I was asked a question. Is it okay if I answer it? Do I have your permission to answer this question?
No.
Okay.
Continue. Mom and Dad, please stop fighting. Pedersen's true value is less, like, if you consider how bad that contract is now, if you just consider that for a second, especially in Carolina's position, you should. I can't believe they have interest as a smart hockey team in an $11 million player that is just a 2C now. He
But,
will
like,
improve for
what
Carolina.
if he, yeah, like what if he in Carolina becomes the like 100-point Selke level center he was? Like what if
It
he
won't
is
happen.
that?
It won't happen.
I probably won't happen, but what if?
I think he's a better player this year than he was last year, and I think although I blame him for being not that good and not that confident, I also definitely place a lot of the blame on Adam Foote for not like encouraging him to shoot more, but specifically for continuously putting him on a line with Evander Kane and Jake DeBrusk. It just never worked,
True.
and he kept going with it. Every single game, we would lose fucking 6 in a row, and still the next game, Kane, Pedersen, DeBrusk every single time. And that's just not what Pedersen needs. He needs skilled guys, faster guys. I mean, DeBrusk is pretty fast, but he's not. DeBrusk doesn't care right now, and he's not getting into the dirty areas. He's not using his size or anything. He's not making Pedersen's life any easier. Evander Kane is stupid, and he doesn't make anyone's life any easier. And for some reason, that was just the line that Foot rolled with. And then Kane got sick yesterday and didn't play, so it was Hoglander, Pedersen, and Garland. And Pedersen ended up with 2 points. And he was shooting. He had some good shots too. Like he didn't score, but his shots were good. They were from far out. He was ripping it. And like if Foot just knew how to make his lines properly, we could be seeing an entirely different conversation on Elias Pettersson because he can't carry the dead weight that is Evander Kane. But Hoglander and Garland, those are the exact kind of guys he should have been playing with this whole season. I don't know how this was the first time we got to see Hoglander and Pedersen together, but like Hoglander's flying out there. Garland is getting into those dirty areas too. They're retrieving the puck, they're protecting it, they're getting it to Pedersen, they're finishing his plays. Like Hoglander just scored his first goal of the season because he finally got to play with Pedersen. They're literally friends. They have chemistry together. They've played well together in past seasons. Adam Foote has been a coach on this team. He has seen them play together and play well, and he took until March to play them on a line together. He is. I think I'm totally going off topic now because I'm now getting frustrated thinking about Adam Foote. If Adam Foote is back next year, you are intentionally throwing. Atu Ratu hasn't played since before the Olympic break. How can you not get Atu Ratu into a game? You just have to keep playing Evander Kane. You have to keep playing David Kemp. We're not winning games. He's so bad for the young guys. He clearly doesn't know what he's doing with Hoglander. He's barely giving Carlson any time. Sasson's playing wing. He's so bad for these young guys. It's actually crazy. And he's bad for Pedersen, too. He's done, like, absolute travesty to the defense, which he worked on so hard last year. We were a really good defensive team last year. And then this year, when he's head coach, the system just sucks. And he refuses to change it. And he had this whole overtime plan, which was sit back, have the most boring overtime ever, and just try to get to a shootout. And every single time after the first month, teams would expose it. You guys know when the last time the Canucks won in the overtime period was?
November.
November 3rd. It's been like 4 months since they won a game in overtime because he doesn't know how to adjust. He doesn't know what he's doing. When he was the head coach of, I think it was Kelowna in the WHL, that was the year that they were hosting the Memorial Cup. He got fired before the playoffs when they had a free ride to the Memorial Cup. That's how much they didn't trust him. He didn't have a single point per game player in the WHL. You know how impressive it is to not have a single point per game player in the WHL? I don't know how he was ever the choice for coach. And like I still think Quinn Hughes had so much to do with it because Quinn Hughes and Adam Foote were friends. Obviously, Adam Foote was the defensive coach. They got along well. Canucks were trying to do whatever it could to make Quinn Hughes happy. So here's Adam Foote, and he just sucks. And there's no point in him being head coach because he doesn't do anything right except for lead us to tank. And it doesn't even matter if he's going to screw up our young guys anyway. He has to be out after this year. Anyway, to answer the question, yeah, maybe there's something I'd trade Pedersen for, but I still don't think it's done his hand.
I was gonna say something
That got
about
into
like,
a whole
wow,
different realm.
like I was thinking while you were talking like Pedersen and stuff, and talking about his line mates. I'm like, man, Seth Jarvis is like the perfect line mate for this guy. But
Yeah.
I,
Like,
I
I know if Pedersen were to get traded, especially to Carolina, where they have talented young players, fast young players, he'd just immediately pop off and make the Canucks look stupid for trading him. I know it would happen.
I don't know. Like, there's questions, probably a few questions about like Rod Brindamore hockey and how it suits him, but at least it would get him shooting the puck more. Um,
Yeah,
I don't know. I agree with your whole Foot take. I think you keep him till the end of this year, like, or at least
definitely.
until you're clinched last place. Like, you do what I don't Foot will come out and like say what Tortorella did to like get him fired last year, but like maybe you clinch last place and you just fire him and let like bring someone up as the interim and just tell them, hey, go play all of our young guys and hopefully we have some fun for the last like 5 or whatever games of the year it is. But
Yeah.
otherwise, I don't know. At this point, you're so bad. Like, just you're just gonna have to deal with it for the rest of the season, I guess.
I know I have to deal with it. I just hope that Foot is not behind the bench next season.
Yeah,
Like
if he's not gone,
Malhotra was
fine.
totally the guy. I always thought that Manny Malhotra was the guy for you because like he coached Abbotsford to the Calder Cup and he did so well and he's clearly good with the young guys. He worked with them really close. He was great with Atu Ratu. And I mean, look at Ratu. He clearly has taken a lot from Malhotra being such a good face-off guy. I think he was the guy, and I still think he's the guy. I know Abbotsford hasn't been good this year, but we also stole all of their best players or traded them away, so I don't really blame him for that. I would way rather see him behind the bench next year because he actually somewhat has a clue what he's doing. Foot has no clue. He's also the only young guy who's really benefited under Adam Foote has been Liam Ogren. Liam Ogren's done well, but I think it's just the elevated role from not playing in Minnesota and having more confidence, getting his legs behind him more. I mean, I don't even know if he's benefiting from Foot. I mean, Lekker when he played in the NHL, was getting like no minutes. He also played way too long in the AHL, which isn't really Foot's fault because they should have been in the NHL earlier. And the defense, Elias Pettersson has fallen off, so he has not been good this year. Mancini's been bad in his NHL games. Vilander has been progressing, but I still think it could be better for him. Just like some of the lines that Foot puts out there are mind-boggling, and
What's Bruce Boudreau doing
playing.
right now?
Yeah, that I mean, I've thought of that so often.
On
Like, how fun
television.
would it be to have Bruce Boudreau?
For
It
the
would be
like
so good
final
for these
15
guys.
games that just don't matter to end the season.
Yeah.
That would be kind of fun, you know?
Uh, Final thing on Foot is the fact that he, for some reason, plays Kevin Lankinen so much more than he plays Nikita Tolopilo, when it is so very apparent that Nikita Tolopilo is simply just a better goalie by far, and also younger. Like Lankinen makes no sense unless you're actively trying to lose, which I think Foot is at this point. I didn't expect to go on an Adam Foot rant, but I just really dislike him as the Canucks head coach, and I always did.
I'm going to go through some
Yeah,
players
I agree.
and we're going to say where they're going to go. Okay?
Okay,
Colton Parayko.
Blues.
Yeah, I think he stays at this point. I don't. I think the Ducks are the only place where I could see him going at this now.
That would be
Now that he's shut
crazy.
down.
Can you
Yeah.
imagine, like, having to play against Pareko, Gudis, and Truba in the playoffs would not be fun. They would kill you.
That's exactly what Pat Verbeek wants, right? Like you have those
Yeah.
guys on your right side, and then your left side is like Lacombe, Zellweger, and like I don't know,
That is kind of
probably
perfect.
Minchikov, unless they trade him in this deal. Like it's just
They'd
it
have
would
to,
be a
right?
really good decor, and I love Anaheim forwards. I actually love Anaheim. I think they might be my favorite team to watch in the West right now. Them and Utah. But I love the Ducks. Beckett Seneca is so fun. Leo Carlson is so fun. Cutter Gauthier is really, really good. And then like they still have like the holdovers like Troy Terry and like Frank Vetrando's been kind of bad this year, but like Chris Kreider's there. Ryan Strome might get traded. Like
Yeah.
I think that they finally moved on from those like bad veterans like Ryan Strome they've been parading out, and now all of a sudden like all this young talent is here and they're unbelievably fun to watch.
I'm really experiencing firsthand the transformation from me being like, yeah, I kind of want the Ducks to, do a little better to like, oh my goodness, I can feel the dread coming from like this is going to be horrible for a long time. Like they're already really good and you can see like they're offensively already a top team in the league. Defensively, like they will get better is the thing. Like
Yeah,
they will
and
get
that's why
better
Parayko is like
defensively.
a perfect fit for them.
It's
They need
perfect.
that like really good stopper. Also, I think Parayko hasn't scored goals this year. I think we've talked about this in Olympic episodes.
Oh yeah.
Joel Quenneville's systems are like designed for like goal scoring defensemen and like just players that have good shots to use their shots. I think he'd be a great fit there. I think like I don't think he'd be like Nick Hjalmarsson level of like elite defensive defenseman because I don't think he passes the puck well enough. But like I actually really think he would take that team from like fun playoff team who's probably like a year away from doing anything significant to like wow, like these guys could legitimately come out of the Pacific.
Yeah. No,
But I
absolutely.
don't know if it's going to happen. There's not a lot of time. There's been some chatter that he would waive to go there from a couple insiders, but it would be a bit. I think like I don't know if they give up Minchikov as part of the deal. I don't know if they give up like Roger McQueen or something. But like if Mertka in the first was the deal from the Sabres, I imagine McQueen and a first or Minchikov and a first and maybe another pick would probably get it done. I don't know. It's hard to say.
I hope it's not McQueen. I just got the jersey.
Yeah, that's a
I
good
I like
point.
him on Anaheim.
I was gonna say Kings to be different because that feels like a deal that Ken Holland would do. I know for a fact that he wanted him on the Oilers a while back but the price was like exorbitant, so it would have been
Yeah,
ridiculous.
Doug
I
Armstrong values his
such a
players
Kings
like
defenseman.
gold.
Yep, it's insane.
He is a Kings defenseman. I agree with that. I don't think LA is good enough to make another big splash this year.
And I gotta say, I think if I had a chance to see a deal, like let's pretend the Oilers traded a first and another, like they just traded two firsts straight up because I don't believe they have a prospect that's really in line with what Mertka's value is. Maybe
Okay.
Howard, maybe probably a little bit more than Howard. Um, let's pretend it's a first and Howard for Parayko. I'm not doing that. First of all, cap wise, it doesn't make sense. I'm not doing that. If I had a chance to just imagine, please be fake. Please back out of the deal. And then it's reported that it's like, yeah, the deal's not happening because he didn't waive. That's like, oh my god, thank you. But if you're a Blues fan, it's like, who was the guy? It was Ray Ferraro before that was saying it's kind of insane that reporters are coming out with the deal before it's actually confirmed that it's happened and he's actually waived. Because now it's like Blues fans are going to be like, why did you waive? We're rebuilding and we could have had a first and a good defensive prospect. Like, screw you, man.
Yeah, I think the NHLPA is going to be quite upset with the amount of pieces in the past couple of days that have come out. Like their deals have leaked. Like teams probably, I would assume, have leaked their trades to insiders before the player actually like
Yeah.
waives their no move. Like I honestly, I think the Pareko one was reported before it was even taken to him. Like probably 30 minutes before the
Yeah.
trade was taken to him. And that is completely on the team side. Like if a reporter hears about the deal, obviously they're going to report on it. If the agent's not going to leak that because the agent's the one that negotiates the no trade clause into the guy's contract. So it's pretty clear that this is the team trying to use some leverage and say like, oh, hey, Darren Dreger, like we've got a deal in place for Pareko to go to
Yeah.
to go to Buffalo, but he's just got to waive his no move clause. If you put it out there, all of a sudden the
Hmm.
pressure goes on. I do feel a little bit bad for Blues fans because this isn't the first time it's happened to them.
Torrey
The
Krug.
Torrey Krug to Philadelphia thing from a few summers ago that kind of blew up in their face because he didn't want to go there. Which again, I don't know. I don't feel bad for the Blues management because like Doug Armstrong's the one who negotiated these no trade clauses into these players' contracts. Like
Yeah.
you made your bed, you have to lie in it. But I do feel bad for like the fans who like now they have to have differing opinions on players because something got out that probably shouldn't have. But I don't know.
It puts the fans in a bad place. And like you say with the Krug thing,
Sabres fans too, for what it's worth.
yeah, I wonder. Yeah, because they're like that defenseman is going to be replacing a defenseman, and now you just have to think anytime if you're a Sabres fan at any time, and they don't have many defensive issues, but like if they have a defensive issue in the playoffs, it's like oh we could have had Colton Parayko. It's just it puts everybody in a weird spot, and I wonder like with the Krug thing, how many times has this happened before? Because I feel like we hear all the time about oh yeah this deal is in place, someone just needs to move just needs to accept or waive their no trade clause. And then usually what we hear is it happens and we don't hear anything else of it.
But yeah, like Uyghur, it took a couple hours, but it was like, oh yeah, Uyghur's waived. Here we go.
Yeah. Like how many times has this happened and a player has been pressured into it because it's like suddenly everyone in their life and the fans are expecting them to move, right? It's just not a good situation, and I do hope the PA kind of, I don't know how they would fix this, but I hope they fix some of them, get the reporting from the teams kind of clamped down on a bit.
Yeah, I don't claim to know enough about union stuff and whatever to know exactly how they would go about doing this, but it's got to at least be like a word out to players and teams and saying like, hey, like if this guy has a no move clause, like don't let the trade get out until he makes his decision, because the no move clause or the no trade clause is in there so they can make a individual informed decision on what they want to do with their life, because this is their livelihood. They, people have families, people have, you know, like sometimes you enjoy living in a city and you don't want to go to Buffalo. So, like it sucks. It sucks for Buffalo because like, and like Sabres fans, I was saying like if if Parayko like moves to Anaheim and greenlights that, but he didn't greenlight the trade to Buffalo, like they're gonna hate this guy for the rest of his career because
Yeah.
he didn't want to be a player for them. That's his decision. He negotiated something into his contract that said I get to choose where I want to live. It's not his. It is his fault because he chose, but it's not his fault that Sabres fans know that he doesn't want to play there. Like it, I
Yeah.
don't. I just it's not particularly
And
fair,
imagine
I
if
guess.
in 10 years Mertka is a really, really good defenseman. Imagine that
Yeah,
Colton Parayko's retired and Mertka is out here like being a legit amazing like top pair defense. I don't think he's going to be, but just imagine that happens. It's gonna be a whole thing. And this just wouldn't have happened if it wouldn't if reporters didn't jump on a report like that, or well, I guess you're saying that it's more on the teams for like leaking
in my
that.
opinion, it
Yeah,
is on the teams for
which I can
letting
agree
this
with.
this information get out, because like it's not the reporter's job to make the player feel good. Like, I mean, maybe Colton Parayko won't be happy with Darren Dreger for being the one to report it, but that's his job, is to report information that
Nobody
he
likes Darren Dreger.
receives. Well, no, but like his job is to report information he receives from the teams. His information was correct. There's nothing. It's not like he said, like there was one point where he said like he thinks Colton Parayko might, or like will accept, like odds are, but like he never said like for sure like Colton Parayko is accepting this trade is going to happen. It's this is a trade in
It's
place
muddy.
if Colton Parayko receives it. Like I think maybe he jumped the gun a little bit with the, odds are he's going to accept. Like maybe you shouldn't speculate on that, but the trade itself was real. Like no one is denying that, the
Yeah.
fact that there was a trade in place.
All right. Well, we talked about Colton Parayko for 10 minutes there.
It's the biggest
Let's.
one. That's the biggest one. Well,
That
we
is the
can we can go
biggest one.
quicker on some other
L-
ones.
Let's let's move. Oh no. What's a good name? Steven
It's a
Stamkos.
Trocheck. Stamkos, you go.
You say Stamkos?
Yeah.
Nashville.
I don't think
Yeah,
anyone has the money, and I don't think they're going to retain.
I don't think he wants to waive.
I think
Really?
that too. I think if Tampa wanted him back, it would happen. I'm just not convinced that that is really the way Tampa wants to go.
It's just a hard contract to really work into the teams that actually need him, I think. I think the
Yeah.
Islanders are the only one that makes sense.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think there's a combination of team that needs him, team he wants to go to, and team with the assets and availability to fit him in.
Yeah, 100%. All right. Um Robert Thomas.
He's staying for now. He might move in the summer, but he's staying.
That's a draft move.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Doug Armstrong's backing himself into a hole with all of these guys.
yeah.
Vincent Trocheck.
Feels like the
Um,
most obvious Minnesota, but I feel like there are other teams that could definitely use him. Like Detroit should be in on that.
I was
Yeah,
going to
yeah.
say
I would have
Detroit.
told you Wild for sure. Like 3 days ago, I would have said Wild for sure. But I think the door is open for a couple more teams now. I don't know. That could be Anaheim too if they decide they want a center
But
instead
he,
of
he
a
said he
defenseman.
doesn't want to go west.
Yeah, true.
Stupid no
I
move
could see them being
clauses.
in on him. I guess that's the problem. I don't know. I don't know how many teams in the East really want him.
Bobby McMann.
I
Detroit.
mean, is no wait, hang on. We're still talking about Trocheck. Hold on,
Okay.
give me a second. Um, I could see like Pittsburgh being a team that could use Trocheck
Fair.
especially with Crosby injured. I just don't think
I
it's
see
going
that.
to happen.
I could see them want I could see that helping him. I just don't think they're a team that is going to trade significant assets for a rental.
Also,
Maybe not,
in the
but it is
Metro,
one of Crosby's last runs here.
It's just not the
So
way that Dubas has been running the team this year. I think that they want to go young and guys with term, like more like Chinikov type trades that it's worked really well for them.
Shane Wright,
I could see
maybe.
them going for like Simon Nemeth if they wanted to make a big splash, but
True.
I don't think that's going to happen.
Bobby McMahon.
I just couldn't care less.
I don't know. I really don't know. It's going to be a gross overpay, and the contract he gets in free agency is going to be a gross overpay.
Say
But
Dallas.
maybe Dallas.
I actually really like Bobby McMahon. I know he's not a great play driver, but there is like he does have a unique style and something like we haven't really seen what he'd look like on a good team. Particularly if he's only playing in like the bottom six and not being given a top six role. I want to see it on a team like Dallas. I want to see it on
I
a
mean,
team
like
like
the
Dallas.
Leafs last year. He was on the Leafs last year, and they won the
I said a
division.
good
I
team.
know they weren't like a no, they weren't a great analytical team, but like they won their division. Anyway,
Yeah, I'll give you that.
I agree with you. Bobby McMahon has the
He has it.
I think it's hard to measure. It's hard to measure like finishing speed hit wingers like macro level, like their impacts are never going to be good, but like there's clearly value for him. He wants like his camp wants a deal similar to what Sherwood just got. So I'm not giving him that
No,
contract.
thank you.
I'm not giving a first round pick for him, but I think that those two things might happen. I
Yeah.
just don't know the team that's going to do it. I think the winger market's pretty dry this year though. That might be the only thing holding it back. I don't know how many teams are like we need a winger, like we need a scoring winger. I think Tampa maybe, but I don't think Tampa's the type of team. Like I don't think Bobby McMahon fits the Tampa kind of ideology of a player.
But I can see their management going for that type of player. I can really see it.
Maybe someone said Bobby Brink for them. Like the Flyers might want to move on from Brink because he's a pending RFA, and they need room to fit in like Porter Martone when he comes out of college. And like Bobby Brink's like maybe a guy that they can move. That that would be more of a Tampa type of acquisition than a Bobby
True.
McMahon.
Definitely. And it would be way cheaper, obviously.
Yeah. Yes.
Sergei Bobrovsky.
I guess it's gonna suck. I bet
Yes.
it's Vegas. Vegas
Yeah.
always has something to do.
Please,
Vegas needs
God,
a
no.
goalie.
That is maybe the most Vegas move ever, and then he re-signs in Florida in the summer.
Throw up if it happens. It feels like the impending doom of Vegas making a big move.
Yeah.
But at least he's not.
It
a
hasn't
Vegas.
happened this deadline. Well, they got Anderson, actually. Never
But
mind.
they always do it at like the last possible moment too. Like
True.
Yeah.
like the hurdle deal, like just completely out of nowhere, like an hour before the deadline. This isn't going to be completely out of nowhere because we're talking about it a day in
Yeah.
advance, but it's going to be something like that where like all of a sudden like Elliot Friedman tweets like, "Oh, like last minute possibility here." You know, hearing Sergei Bobrovsky and is heading off to Vegas.
If that trade happens, I can't tell if I'm forgetting anyone. But would Florida's goalie tandem be Tarasov Domingue?
Probably.
Yeah,
'Cause I'm
that's
pretty sure that's why they signed Domingue, like just in case. Like,
That is
to an NHL deal.
blatant tanking.
incredible.
Blatant tanking. To
To be
protect
fair,
their
they need to
first.
get to the bottom 10 so they can keep their first
That
round pick
is
this year.
insane.
Draft someone in the top 10 and then get everyone healthy next year and then be like a good like a cup contender again. It's disgusting. But it's what's
Disgusting.
going to happen.
Yep. And then that first that they actually end up giving up is going to be number 32.
Yeah.
Be horrible.
It's honestly gross. I want to
Yeah.
move on now. Who's next?
Jordan Binnington.
Blues.
Blues.
You can say any Blues player you want. I'm gonna keep on saying stay. Other than Falk.
Yes.
Falk would be a fun. Hey Rory, let's do Falk. Let's ignore him. What about Falk? I
Buffalo.
say Red Wing.
One of
He's
those
such
two,
a
one
Red
of those
Wing.
two teams. I think Buffalo, like, little bro doesn't have Robert Thomas money. Little bro doesn't have Colton Parayko money. Justin Falk it is, pal. And they finally like they've been how long do you think like Doug Armstrong and Jarmo Kekalainen have spent on the phone with each other in the past week?
Oh, jeez.
And
Like, surely they got to figure something out.
I'm just imagining Jarmo Kekalainen like twiddling the phone line around his finger right now, like kicking his feet and shit on his stomach on his bed.
I feel like he'd be more stressed. Like, he's been going big fish hunting, and he keeps getting denied either by not having enough assets for what the Blues want for Thomas, or just like Parayko not wanting them.
Yeah, it's pretty funny that Kevin Adams built this whole Sabres team and they're finally popping off as soon as he got fired.
Yeah, it's not even like
He
a new
built
coach
this
bump or something.
team.
Like, it's the
Yeah.
new GM bump. The first time I've ever seen that.
Didn't know that was a thing.
You know,
Okay.
we moved off of Bennington, but he's such a hurricane. Am I crazy? He's a hurricane.
No,
I think you
No.
got to roll with Bussy. I know he's not like incredible, but he's winning games for them.
That's just such a
The
bad.
quickest
That's a
goaltender to
recipe
25
for
wins ever, by the
disaster.
way.
But that doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It's just
hey man,
It does when you have the defensive system.
they need a
It's
guy
Freddie Anderson.
who will step up for them when the going gets tough. And like Bennington, they don't need a goalie who's going to consistently be like good or okay, like Bussy is. He is a good goal. He is, for me, he is a better goalie than Bennington. But Bennington provides a specific thing that the Canes need that they don't have. They don't have any clutch.
You don't know how much clutch Bussy has. He's never played a playoff game.
Exactly. He doesn't. We assume everyone's clutch starts at like average. Are you telling me that like Bennington has some of the most clutch?
Yeah, I'm not saying he doesn't. I like that's the whole thing with Bennington. Like, you trade for him because he's going to be clutch. But also, Jordan Bennington allowed 2 goals in the final 2 minutes to Winnipeg last year, and and they lost that series in 7 games. So like,
Fairs.
Jordan Bennington isn't just, and like, he lost the gold medal game 2 weeks ago. Like, Jordan Bennington isn't like automatic. He gets to a big moment and he's not allowing a single goal. Like, he obviously turns up more and the lights are bright. And I'm not saying he was at fault or bad in either of those losses, but like, he's not like impenetrable. Like, this isn't like, oh, we're trading for a guy that just becomes like
That's actually that's
Carey
fair.
Price come playoff time. Like, he's a I think he's a good goalie. He's not the worst goalie in the league, like the stats suggest.
I
He
think
clearly doesn't want to be in
because
St. Louis,
it's a
but
bit more of a like dumber move and less of an analytics founded move for Bennington. I think Vegas would go for that, especially because they're more desperate for a goalie. Like Aiden Hill genuinely might be the worst goalie in the league this year, along with Jordan Bennington. But Vegas has not had a goalie that can like Hill just got destroyed against Edmonton even in the previous series against Wild. He was pretty bad. And this is what they see with all of their goalies. They really have not had that guy. It's kind of a miracle they got him a cup in the first place. So I think Bennington makes a lot of sense for them, and I can also see that working out terribly for them. Anyways, Bobrovsky or Bennington, one of them is going to be a Golden Knight.
Bobrovsky's gonna be way cheaper. I think Binnington moves, but I think he moves in the summer. Like, maybe it's not a draft thing, but it's like one of those like mid-July trades where like it just happens.
Yeah. No,
Like someone misses out on a UFA goalie, and they do that.
Last one here of the major aims, unless I'm forgetting someone. Vincent Trocheck.
We already went through Vincent Trocheck.
Did we?
Also, you
Yeah,
have
we
not said
did.
a single Canuck.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well,
We also
okay.
haven't
I
mentioned
feel
Ryan
like
O'Reilly or OEL or Blake
Yeah.
Coleman.
just
Yeah.
ignore me. Just ignore me. That's okay. Do you see UC
I can see
Saros
Coleman
moving
being on Tampa
at the
again.
deadline? You see UC Saros moving at the deadline, Rory?
When did I say UC
Oh,
Saros?
never mind.
He was nodding to me.
My bad.
You just keep talking.
My bad. UC Saros. Where's he going?
Nashville?
Very much Nashville. Nashville's very still close to a playoff spot. I don't, and
just-
especially with Saros having, like Saros and Stamkos have years left on their contract. They
Here's
don't
a
have to
better
make
question,
move for
actually.
them right now.
Of
Marchessault is more interesting to be moved by Nashville.
I
than either
think he
Saros
will
or
get moved.
Stamkos, I would say.
Of Yossi, Forsberg, and Saros, which one is moved first?
Saros. But again, I think that's an off-season goalie carousel thing. Like it is hard to move goalies mid-season, especially at the deadline. Like you really just don't see goalies move that much. Maybe backups, maybe like every now and again you get like a Bobrovsky where the like everything kind of falls into place and like Vegas badly needs a goalie. Bobrovsky's available and like would probably want to go there and he'd end up being pretty cheap because everyone knows he's going back to Florida in the summer and he's old. But like you don't trade like a goalie with like a lot of term doesn't move in the summer. Or sorry, doesn't move at the deadline. He moves in the summer.
Yeah, no, I think I'd agree with that, and I think that Saros probably has the most tangible demand. He's a wanted position. I feel like Forsberg would probably be the guy to stay, even if I think they should move
I
on
think
with
Yoshi's
him.
the guy to say he's the captain.
Yeah, I mean that too. But he's maybe towards the end of his career and wants to chase a cup. Although he's a guy I can see saying he doesn't want to do that. He just wants to stay.
Yeah.
We talk about Garland.
He's an Islander
I really
or
think
Bruin.
Boston for Garland. Like he just feels like a Bruin. Like
I
obviously
mean,
the
it's
Islanders have been around him, but
yeah, it's been Garland to Boston rumors for the past like 3 years because he's a mass boy.
yeah.
I really loved the report that was saying the Canucks could get Patra and Lorai for Garland. I would love that. I mean, I know neither of them are really that good or anything, but getting both of them for Garland, I just want to get rid of Garland. I don't want to pay that 6x6. I don't want him on the team. They got to make some moves. I'm so scared that they're going to fail to move him, but there's been a lot of interest, apparently. Boston, Islanders. I wonder who else is in. I think Ottawa might be in on him too.
I really hope Ottawa doesn't do that for their own sake. Like he just doesn't. He would just
That
be
doesn't make
redundant there.
sense.
They have so many Garland type players in Ottawa. He's a good player, and I think he'd probably play well there. But like I don't know.
I think Garland can bring something that nobody else can. I think he can fit his game to whatever it needs to be.
I think that's fair. He fits so well into like what I feel like Boston
Yeah,
needs. I know
definitely.
he's not a center, but like their second line wingers are not very good. Or at
I
least
think
like
that would be cool.
on paper they're not
Especially
very.
even though, he has me blocked and everything, I still am concerned about moving him when he has a 6x6 with a no move clause coming up. Cuz it would really suck if they moved him to a place he didn't want to go to and then he was just stuck
Yeah,
there for 6 years.
Yeah.
So I think
happens.
I'd be happy with it being Boston just cuz like he's from Mass, so there's no way he'd be that mad at being stuck at
True.
home for
Yeah.
6 years. So
That
I'm
would be
hoping
cool.
it's that, and I'm hoping we get Patra. I'd be happy with that. Maybe he can reignite the flame from a couple of years ago when he was like really good for 30 games.
Send him to
Yeah.
Winnipeg before that no trade kicks in. Send him to Winnipeg.
I don't think anyone would ever sign in Vancouver again.
that,
Oh, that a
that
new
you
move clause.
that's you actually need to watch for that. That's true. Be careful where you send them.
I'm scared they're not going to get anything done. I need at least I've lowered my expectations to just Garland and Kane. I need Garland and Kane. If we keep Bluger, lose him in the offseason for free, whatever. Garland and Kane got to be gone.
That's probably fair. I think I don't know where I just don't know where Vander Kane would go. Like obviously like the Dallas and Colorado links, but I don't know. I feel like
Montreal.
yeah, that's what Montreal needs. They're scratching like Alex Texier or Zach Balduke every night. They need another forward.
I really hope he goes to
They need grit.
Vegas.
Yes.
It would be really good for the content, but like I don't know. I don't think Vegas would do it because they just got
They're too smart.
out. I don't think they're too smart. They've traded for a lot of bad players before, but
None
I don't
quite
know.
this bad.
No.
I
I want
would
to
use
say
my last retention spot on Evander Kane. 50% retained for future considerations. I don't care.
yeah. I think Blake Coleman to Dallas would be cool. I know you said Tampa, but I think I think Dallas would honestly fit him better.
They're gonna get someone of that
They
like
have to get
veteran
someone.
bottom
They
six type.
See Garland there too.
yeah,
I
maybe.
can see
I
that.
think I don't think they can fit that contract. Like they need to sign Robertson for $12 million probably this
He's
summer.
the Robertson replacement, buddy.
They
I
can
don't know.
take Garland and DeBrusque. and we'll take Robertson.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that works out for
You
everybody.
should call him Jim Nell, and I'm sure he'd love that.
It's okay. I'll also throw in Evander Kane.
Ah,
Oh,
you know,
how kind. How kind of
I
you.
mean, Jim Nill just wants to recreate the 2025-26 Vancouver Canucks on his, cup contending team. Like he wants Tyler Myers and Jake DeBrusk and Connor Garland and Evander
Yeah.
Kane.
Yeah.
You might as well throw in Lankin at that point too. Who needs Ottinger?
Yeah, we'll take Ottinger too.
All right, was that was that all of our thoughts?
On
Yeah, I'm
Coleman?
good.
I don't know. What's Ryan O'Reilly? Actually, two more. O'Reilly and OEL.
O'Reilly, that feels like a Penguin right now. That feels like a Penguin
No.
at this current moment.
No.
They want a center.
No,
wants
they
to
want
go
a
east.
depth center. They want a cheap depth center that they don't have to pay anything for. They don't want an actually good player. Unless he's like 22. And Ryan O'Reilly is not 22.
I
I
still
think
see it.
O'Reilly
It would
stays
be a
because I don't
last
think
minute decision though. It wouldn't be a thing that they've been working for. It'd be a we do need a center, and if the acquisition cost is lower, like if it just costs a first and a prospect and say like Tommy Novak, or I don't even know if he's on the Penguins
the
anymore.
Predators want Tommy Novak back.
Yeah.
I think O'Reilly stays unless Minnesota or Detroit says like, oh, we need this guy. Like someone misses out on Trocheck, like someone out of nowhere, like
Yeah.
I like trades for Trocheck, and someone's like, oh, I needed Trocheck. Can we make O'Reilly work? I think that could happen. And then OEL feels like a Red Wing.
Yeah, you know what though? I think Montreal makes a lot of sense. He would be playing on his offside, but I think he could stay there for another 3 years until he kind of diminishes more than he
OEL?
is. Yeah, I think that would work.
Why do you Montreal's puck moving defensemen are Lane Hudson, Mike Matheson, and Noah Dobson. They need Oliver Ekman Larson to play as offside.
Yep, they need that
They don't
vet.
even fit.
Makes sense to me.
Why would you pay a first and a prospect for a veteran third pairing?
Okay, well I
defenseman
don't
who
know if
doesn't
I would
fit?
pay a first and a prospect.
That's the market for him.
Hell nah. I can see Detroit doing that though. If it's a first and a prospect, then step
Yeah,
on
that's what I
up.
mean.
To be
It's
fair,
a
they
first and a
have
prospect.
inquired.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like he feels like he would be a perfect like he'd be like what Wallman should be because Wallman should probably still be there. Like in that similar kind of mold. Like second pair, you have Edvinsson Sider up top, and then you have OEL in the second pair, and then like everyone else just fits in however the chemistry works. You know,
Yeah.
Aljo.
Aljo.
Good old Aljo.
That would complete their
Can
blue
we
line
wrap this
for
up?
now,
It's been a
I
long
think.
time. I got stuff to do. I have to
Yeah.
leave for work soon.
All
I
right,
gotta
all
eat soon.
right. Yeah, I got a
Yeah.
ton of work to do.
Oh,
All
wait,
right.
wait, whoa. Hang
Wait.
on.
Wait.
Pegnota tweet note if the
Oh.
Canucks have some trade options regarding veteran Teddy Bluger. If their price isn't met, though, I'm told they will explore signing him to an extension.
Oh well, that was actually none of the things
Eh.
that you said you wanted to do with him.
I don't hate the idea of. I mean, if you're gonna re-sign him, you got to trade David
Camp.
Camp.
Yeah, I would say it's one or the other.
They got to capitalize on these prices for the defensive centers in the bottom six. Like,
Yeah.
I know he doesn't have the pedigree, but Teddy Bluger not being able to fetch at least a third round pick, I don't know. Doesn't add up.
You think if
Okay.
LA held on to Phil Deneau, sorry, last thing, final thing. If LA held on to Phil Deneau and he scored like 5 goals and 6 assists or whatever in his last like 25 games, do you think they would get and like they were selling? Do you think they get a first for him at this deadline,
Yes,
or do you think
No.
they'd still get a second
I think they get a first.
He sucks.
if they retained? Would they get a first, like 50%?
100%.
No,
100% they
he
will.
sucks.
Okay.
He sucks.
Thank you.
If he can get a first, Teddy Bluger can get a first.
Well, we'll see about that. All right.
We don't have
player.
time for this conversation.
That has
Player.
been episode 9 of Pacific Perspective.
50. It's our 50th.
50! Let's go. All right. 50. What a good episode for 50. Thank you, Rory, for coming on as always. We will see you guys next time.